Ugh. I realised I nearly accidentally just said the N-word, so I had to say neeple. I had to say neeple. What I get for barely paying attention. Andre Cruz immediately with the moonsault to take down the big man. Oh. And we still don't know the matches that these two will be involved in Final Destination, if they'll be involved at all. We don't know that just yet. Nothing been announced. There has only been a few matches that have been announced so far for Final Destination. Of course, you have Masaki Ryoki versus Noah Morrison for the All-Star Championship. You have what is already announced to be your main event in Helga versus Francis Sharp versus MD Silva for the World Championship. You have Henry King versus Leon Grimes in a career versus title match at Final Destination. We have the Freeway TLC match for the tag titles, featuring the Champion Survival Instinct taking on the Fallen and Impact Theory for the tag team titles. And we have Marty versus Diego Barbosa in a street fight also announced. But I will say, after stream, if people want it, after stream I can post the full Final Destination max card. And the sit-out powerbomb from Andre Cruz. As he jumps top rope. Goes for a torpedo splash, but Max Black gets up in time to avoid. But Andre Cruz rolling out with the grapple. And rolling him down, kick to the face. Goes for the pin. One. And a kick out at one from Max Black. It's safe to say this isn't the normal dominant Max Black that we have seen for most of this season. You know, of course, he's got himself eliminated in the Elimination Chamber by Elena Claire. Followed up by losing to her straight up in a one-on-one match clean. Max Black throwing Andre Cruz at the referee. A nice pop-up suplex from the big man. Going in for the pinfall. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Andre Cruz. You have to give me a moment. Max Black with a big power slam. And now the rear naked choke from Max Black to Andre Cruz. Oh, it's been held in for a while, but Andre Cruz managing to get out of it. Going for the standing moonsault. Oh, the springboard splash there. Goes for another standing moonsault, but it's dodged out of the way by Max Black, who moves out of the way. But Andre Cruz still proving that the speed is too much. Dropping down below. Max Black, though, gets the uppercut. Throws him against the ropes now. A big boot to take him down. And he locks in the rear naked choke one more time, but the referee calls for a rope break. claiming that Andre Cruz's legs were under the ropes. Goes for the pinfall. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. For Andre Cruz, Max Black furious as this takes place. And the standing Spanish fly into the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. It's been a great back and forth match so far between two of the biggest stars in MCW today. Max Black catches the leg. Picks up Andre Cruz, puts it down for a side slam. And now stretching out the torso of Andre Cruz. And Max Black flattening Andre Cruz back down to the canvas. Andre Cruz rolling out though. But Max Black with the knee to the face. And a pop-up powerbomb. And then the rear naked choke. Surely this is all over. It is. Andre Cruz taps out to Max Black. It was a brutal assault on the Road to Glory holder. Because this set a precedence for the rest of the Black family tonight.
Here is your winner, Max Black.
Max Black stands tall. There's definitely a lot of good fight from Andre Cruz in there, but it is the man mountain of MCW that stands tall. I say that as if he has any other way to stand. Kind of doesn't really have a choice. Bro is just tall by nature. Elena Claire. Gavin Storm. Whose stocks will continue to rise after this match. Elena Claire with an immediate kick to the head of Gavin Storm, sending him down to the ground. Because Elena Claire still on the path of her first to try and find her first title in MCW. Of course, Gavin Storm, already a decorated wrestler within the company, one half of the longest reigning tag team champions of all time in the Blood Devils. Referee breaking them apart here. Elena Claire with some shoulder tackle to Gavin Storm as she runs. Kick to the face. Runs to the ropes again. And another kick to the face. Runs the ropes. Once more. Kick to the chest. Sending Gavin down. Goes for a moonsault off the bottom rope, but it lands. It's really taking the fight to Gavin Storm here. Dropping the elbow onto the chest. Just coming in with a newly lit flame here. Targeting the knee. And a running knee now. Gavin Storm gets a quick kick to get back up. Goes for the grapple, but Elena knows where that leads to when you're against such a technical wrestler as Gavin Storm. Plants him down with the leg. It's time to feed off the energy of the crowd, Elena Claire. Gavin Storm refusing to go down easy. A lovely power slam variant there from Gavin Storm. Elena Claire dodging the grapple though. Throws him into the corner. Goes for a power slam, but it's reversed into a DDT from Gavin Storm. Gavin Storm locking in the submission here on Elena Claire. Elena Claire, though, getting out of it there, using the athleticism. And a code breaker from Elena Claire. Smartly moving Gavin Storm away from the ropes, so the referee can't call for rope break. Or maybe she changed her mind here. Setting, looking for the spinning back fist here. And spins it back. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 at the last possible second. Spinning back fist nearly taking Gavin Storm out there. Goes for the springboard clothesline lariat. Runs into the corner. But sees Gavin Storm getting to his feet a bit too quick, a lot quicker than she expected him to. As he gets her up. Lifting her above his head. To a military press power slam. Goes in for the pin. 1. And a kick out at 1 from Elena Claire. Throws Elena Claire towards the ropes and a big knee. And another submission maneuver locked in here. But Elena Claire fighting out of it with some elbows to the chest. And a soul snatcher there from Elena Claire near the ropes, catching Gavin Storm off guard. Now targeting the arm. Once again feeding off the energy of the crowd in attendance. And the pile driver from Elena Claire. 1, 2, 3. Elena Claire picks up the win over Gavin Storm. John, can we get rid of him, please? Blood has clearly not read the title of any sort. I can't do it. It doesn't come up in my viewer list for some reason. Appreciate you, John. It's just not worth it with the PvP guys are just really toxic as fuck, really. Not worth the effort. Alright, the third match of the final weekly shows of the season is Annika Devereux taking on Aiden Storm one-on-one. As Annika's taking control early here, dropping the knees to Aiden Storm. Aiden will be looking to do what his brother couldn't in the previous match. Goes for a springboard clothesline. Doesn't connect all of it, but it's still enough to take Aiden Storm down. Fighting for a spot find destination. It is true. You know, there's a couple of people that still not got their spots guaranteed for the biggest show of the season. A lovely maneuver there from Annika. Stomping Aiden Storm back down to the canvas. A kick to the gut and an elbow drop. Aiden Storm starting to get back in this match. Goes for a coffin drop across the ring. I think he would have had the distance on it if Annika did not move out the way. Which does show this improvement that we have noted from Aiden Storm. Usually he overshoots that by a considerable amount, but not this time. Really showing this in the rise. And of course, you know, it's still worth noting as well, there's been some incredible wins for Aiden Storm lately. Of course, something that we can't not mention is obviously with Annika being the daughter of Apathy, but also Apathy is the wife of Owen O'Rourke, who Aiden Storm beat last week. Quite convincingly, may I add, as well. And a front slam into a secondary front power slam. And a super kick to the face of Annika, going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Aiden trying to put Annika down as quickly as he can. And the DDT into the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at the very last possible second. Aiden Storm is taking control of this match really quickly, but Annika gets a little bit of momentum here. Tries to go for the pin early. I don't really think that's going to pay off for her, as we see there with Aiden Storm kicking out at 1. Now taking Annika taking Aiden, sorry, to the corner as he gets the elbow up. A double underhook suplex to Annika. Flinging her over. Annika rolling back to her feet though. Manages to get the strikes to meet just before Aiden does. Now throwing Aiden into the corner. So down as Annika goes top rope. It's always scary seeing this woman go up top rope. We know what she can do when she's in these kind of positions. And a falling code breaker from the top rope into the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Aiden Storm, still staying alive in this matchup. Climbs up to the top rope once again. This time the falling stunner. Moving Aiden Storm away from the ropes. And now going for the pin. This could all be over here. 1, 2, 3, and it is. Annika Devereux picking up the win on Aiden Storm. Both Storm brothers losing back to back. But it was a good back and forth between the two competitors in this match. Why the fuck am I getting a foot mob notification? Ah, because Barcelona have just won La Liga by winning the El Clasico. That is huge. Veronica could be a good mental boost for Apathy. That is true. You know, seeing her daughter pick up that kind of a win could increase the morale of Apathy ahead of her match, which is coming up next.
Here is your winner, Andy
Apathy, who has been on a good run since the World Cup, which saw her turn her fortunes around, against a former world champion here tonight. Going for the roll-up early. 1. Kick out by Marty. Chain wrestling engaged. It's Apathy that outstrengths Marty. Linking right back up though, as Marty refuses to back down. Marty getting pushed into the corner. A nice little neck breaker from Apathy there, utilising the ropes. Goes for the backdrop, but Marty rolls out of the way as they link back up once again. I can never get over the Marty's glitched ass pants. They're so they're genuinely fucking so funny. Apathy stomping out Marty here. I'm gonna be a minute. I need to go and make a drink. My throat's really fucking dry for some reason. So sorry, apologies. Oh, right. Superman punch from Marty. Marty picks Apathy up, taking the fight to a fast. Big elbow to take Marty down. As she stomps out the former world champ. Goes for the slingshot, but doesn't get the distance. But a running clothesline. Into a running clothesline. Tripping the leg up. Going for the pinfall on Marty now. 1, 2. And a kick out at 2 from Marty. And she went for the powerbomb, but her back gave out. Too much damage done from the back. I assume from Marty. From Marty with some strikes and kicks. Rolling out the way. And a running clothesline of his own. Into another clothesline. Into the leg trip once more. As now he goes for the pin. The exact same sequence. 2. And a kick out at 2 from Apathy. A suplex from Marty to Apathy. He goes top rope here. A 630 moonsault splash into the pin. 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote. Marty picking up the win. So I missed most of that match. Was it a good match? That is a huge with the clash over Diego, that is true. Shows that he really has got his eye on the ball. Oh, the RK on the outside, jeez. Oh, and then the back breaker into the big boot. And Marty still fought out of it, jeez. It's impressive from Marty.
Here is your winner, Marco!
Oh, Marty holding his arm in the air, celebrating the win. As he now his mind will be set on preparing for the street fight against Diego Barbosa. Let's go. Wayne Evans taking on Diego Barbosa. 1-on-1. And this is a big match here. two big stars in the company. Wayne Evans, who has climbed the mountaintop once, beating Max Black for the world title. Something that Diego did fail to do. And both men getting way too ahead of themselves there. But so whilst Wayne has the advantage that he's done what Diego couldn't, winning the world title off of Max Black, Diego has the advantage of experience. He's been in this company for a decent amount longer than Wayne Evans. More matches under his belt. He has beaten numerous names that have gone on to win world titles in his career. Maybe may feel slightly unfortunate to not have won a world title himself throughout the course of the season. When you have someone as dominant as Max Black and was in the first half of the season, it's very difficult to see any new champions. But it was Wayne Evans that put the end to that reign of terror from Max Black. As these two keep linking into chain wrestling, showing that they are both as consistent as the other. Sling blade into a basement drop kick from Wayne Evans. These men both have their own motivations here as well. Diego Barbosa's got his motivation of kind of channeling his preparations for the match against Marty at Final Destination, and of course Wayne Evans, who, while hasn't got a guarantee spot on the Final Destination card as of yet, but he'll still be looking to upgrade his path to getting himself that All-Star Championship around his belt once more, or around his waist, sorry, once more. As he'll be watching the man who beat him, Noah Morrison, take on the World Cup winner Masaki Ryoki for the belt at Final Destination. The top rope springboard moonsault, another springboard moonsault from Diego Barbosa. Showing the fast athleticism. Diego with the reversal, getting a punch. A Hurricane Rana from Diego Barbosa to Wayne Evans now. Into the kick. 1, 2, kick out at 2. Goes for the super kick, but is dodged out of the way by Diego Barbosa. Reverses into a Hurricane Rana. Snapmare from Diego. Running into the corner, but looks like Wayne Evans starts getting to his feet. Running against the ropes. And the Pele kick for Diego Barbosa goes in for the pinfall. 1, 2, a kick out at 2 for Wayne Evans. And the code breaker from Diego into the pin. 1, 2, 3. Diego Barbosa picks up the win. That's got to be a statement to Marty. Saw Marty win and said, hey, I can do that too. And I can beat a former world champion in doing so. You know, it's already impressive from Wayne Evans to kick out of that Pele kick, but then to immediately get met with the code breaker. There's not many men in this company that would kick out of that combo. If any, really. You know, we have said pretty much all season that if you were to take a body part from MCW, pound for pound, it's probably Diego's legs that are the strongest.
Here is your winner, Diego Vamos.
Here it is, the International Championship on the line. As we have Kieran Black defending against Doug Foster. An MCW original who was stepping in KLASH, into KLASH rings over a year ago now from this moment. And you can see the emotion on his face, how much it would mean to the Eagle to soar his way back home with championship gold under his wing. But that doesn't mean that Kieran Black is going to go down easy. Of course, there's a bit of a legacy in this title for Kieran. It's ran through almost every single member of his family that has stepped foot in MCW. He would be the first Black family member to drop the championship to a non-Black family member. Do you really want that kind of accolade as you go home? Did take a lot to put Kieran Black down last week. Doug Foster, though, a man who's known to try as hard as he can, and immediately he takes the fight to Kieran Black, putting him down on the ground, running for a big splash. And he's going to do what it takes to take home that championship title tonight. And it would mean a lot for the career of Doug Foster, for the state of MCW if Doug Foster was going into Final Destination as the international champion. But maybe the energy is getting too much for him as he misjudges that springboard, which has led Kieran to be able to take advantage. Thumbs into the neck of Doug Foster. And I do suspect we're going to see a bit more aggression from Kieran Black than usual, as we're seeing here. Just repeated thumbs, it's jabbed into the neck of Doug Foster. Clearly acknowledging the threat that Doug Foster poses. I mean, how can you not after last week? Throwing Doug into the corner. Doug getting the knees up though to prevent the shoulder tackle. And a snapmare. But let's not, you know, this opportunity that Doug Foster is facing here, don't get me wrong, is a massive opportunity. But let's not get rid of, let's make sure to pay our flowers for Kieran Black, a man who came into NCW, had a horrible loss streak. I believe he went like 6 losses before he picked up his first win. One of the most inconsistent performers, and now look at him, championship gold around, beating the longest reigning international champion for it. In one of the most high stakes environments there is in the Elimination Chamber. But can he defend that belt here against Doug Foster? Can he show all of the lessons that he has learned, all the misfortune that he has been able to turn around? That's a lovely power bomb. Into it, goes in for the coffin drop, but Doug Foster rolls up to his feet as these two lock up now. Allowing the better man to take advantage. Doug Foster overpowering Kieran Black. No surprise there in the slight side difference between the two of them. And Doug Foster's got him up high. And dropping him back down. Taking Kieran back up to his feet. Clearly not done with it. But Kieran is not willing to let the fight end there. Gets Doug in the corner, but Doug gets the elbow up. Dodging the grapple of Doug Foster there. Taking him into the ropes. But Doug with the elbows up, preventing that kind of space to be created, that opportunity that Kieran's looking to retain. Closing down any chance that he can. And a lovely double hook underhook suplex into the pin. 1. Kick out at 1 for Kieran. Doing what he can to secure that championship and keep it under his Control, but the side slam into the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Kieran Black. Doug Foster shocked, clearly thought that was going to win it. I mean, it was the move that saw him beat Kieran last week. And gets him up and plants it into the ground. I was wrong. That's the move that won the match last week. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Kieran. Still fight left in this man as he pushes Doug Foster off. Running back drop. That's one of these things that these Black family members do so well, is continue fighting when you think they're out of it. Goes for the springboard, but it was dodged by Doug Foster. Let's go up high, plants him with a lovely DDT. Now stomped to the chest of Kieran Black. Goes for a springboard of his own, leg drop. Gets Kieran up. Into a suplex, into the pin immediately. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Doug Foster is your new international champion as he goes into Final Destination with championship gold around his waist. It's took him all season to chase down that singles championship. Maybe Kieran took him too lightly. Or maybe he certainly wasn't prepared for how fast Doug Foster was going to go in this match and how hard he was going to fight to get that gold.
Here is your winner and new international champion, Doug the Eagle Foster.
Back, Brad Collins, clash of 2 titans to open Clash. Immediately linking up with Chain Wrestling, you wouldn't expect anything more. Are they the exact same height? They must be, right? They're definitely the same height. More Chain Wrestling again. Has been Brad that's taken the advantage on pretty much all the Chain Wrestling segments so far, and it looks like he's going to do the same here with a roll-up against John Black. Kick out before 1. John Black rolling out of the way though, and a Hurricane Rana from the Hollywood King. Goes for the kick, but Brad Collins rolls out of the way. Big back drop. And a suplex there from John Black to Brad Collins. Lifting him up, planting him down with a side slam. Goes to the springboard, but Brad Collins gets up and dodges the attempt. But John Black sees Brad Collins in the corner of his eye, sweeps the legs down to get himself back up first. Numerous kicks to the face of Brad Collins, now wrenching the arm behind the back. And dropping the knees on the back of Brad Collins. Goes for the pin early. But a kick out before the ref has a chance to say 1. As they lock eyes as he gets up. Brad Collins dodges the grapple, but doesn't dodge the punch. A little springboard stunner from John Black there to Brad Collins. Brad Collins planting John to the ground. And a rolling front slam into a second front slam. Throwing John Black onto the rope, onto the apron. Hanging him on the ropes. And John Black busted open there, I believe. The knee dropping onto the back of the head. Yeah, John Black, you can see there, is busted open by the impact. That is something that will continue to wear at John Black for the rest of this match. But it doesn't stop for planting Brad Collins to the ground. But Brad with the roll up here. Put a kick out before one. John, if there's one thing John Black knows about, it is roll-ups. John throwing Brad Collins off of him. But Brad throwing John back into the ropes. And a little Hurricane Runner of his own, showing that he has just as much ability and athleticism as John. As he goes here for the Tombstone Pile Driver. It's not a Tombstone, it's just a regular Pile Driver, my bad. Going for the pin here. 1, 2. Kick out at 2 from these two big men. Still fighting it out. Brad Collins rolls up. Gets a clothesline off. Goes for a pin. 1. Kick out at 1. I mean, this could go down as the best match that these two have had if things continue, to be honest. The guillotine locked in from John Black here on Brad Collins. Brad Collins, though, keeping John Black attached to him, flinging him off. Punch to the gut, taking him to the corner, but John Black preventing that from happening. Goes for the knees, but Brad Collins rolling out of the way. Double axe handle to the back of John Black. Rolling over. Gets him up into a suplex. Goes for the springboard splash. This time it lands. Brad Collins right back up to his feet. But John Black managing to catch him off guard. Quick jab to the face and a suplex for his troubles. And now picking him up once again into a power bomb. And is he looking for it once more? It's a second sit-out powerbomb from John Black. Stomp to the back of Brad Collins. Now rolling front slam. Into a second. John Black not letting up. Brad Collins getting a quick punch to the gut. And now the roll-up. 1. Kick out. Reversal by John Black. 1, 2, and a reversal from Brad Collins. 1, kick out at 1. John Black gets right back up. It looked like Brad Collins went for the clothesline from hell there, but it was dodged by John Black, who gets him up for the package pile driver. It lands. But Brad Collins gets the knee up. And the clothesline from hell to send John Black down. 1 and a kick out at 1. It was definitely a slow count going there from the ref, by the way. And Brad Collins not finished there. Throws John Black against there. Goes for another clothesline from hell. But John Black reversals. Elbow to the back of Brad Collins. The ref was slow, but to be fair, I don't think it would have put John down anyway. And John with the guillotine. It could all be over here. It's not. Brad Collins powering out. But John Black running out of the way. The uppercut there for Brad Collins. Brad Collins taunting John Black here, showing he's still got fighting him, but John Black getting the knee up. Gets him up into another power bomb. John Black waiting for Brad Collins to stagger to his feet and gets him up. Drops him back of the head on the knee. But Brad Collins, he goes for the quick knee, but it's caught by John Black, who sees it coming. But Brad Collins with the knee, or the elbow, sorry. Throws John Black towards the ropes and picks him up into a side slam. These men out here trying to kill each other. Runs towards the ropes, but he runs out of gas. Having to improvise here, slow things down. But gets John Black up into a spine buster. Targeting the back of the neck of John Black. I mean, this match is everything that you could have wanted from these two veterans of MCW. Standing moonsault. Picks him up into a spine buster, into a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from John Black. And Brad Collins planting him back down to the mat, goes in for the pin once more. 1, 2, and John Black grabs the ropes to stay alive in this match. We see both men do this move so far this match, but Brad Collins bringing it back again. Locking in a submission here on John Black. Clearly realizing he's not going to tap though, lets it go. John Black though gets up, but the big shoulder tackle to send the Hollywood King back down as he's once again targeting the back of the neck of John Black. Just beating the hell out of each other here. But John Black gets the kick up. And a crossroads DDT. Busting Brad Collins open. Moving him center. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Both men bloodied, but it's John Black who picks up the win in what is certainly most likely a match of the year contender. I mean, what an opener for the final Clash of the year. That was fucking phenomenal. What an incredible match between those two.
Here is your winner, John Black.
An incredible war fought from two soldiers of the business. As John Black strutting around the ring, blood-covered face, lifting his arms up high. City Stars, a team that it has been a long time since they've gotten a win, versus Impact Theory. It seems that all they know is wins. So there's no surprise on who the favourites going into this match is, but that doesn't mean that the Rock City Stars can't pull off a shock win. We've seen it happen before. So one of 2 tag matches tonight, of course, as the main event sees the world champion Helga team up with someone's actually in an unconventional sense teaming up with one of her opponents at Final Destination. As she teams up with MD Silver to take on Survival Instinct, the current tag team champions. There's no belts on the line. Clearly, this is it'll be a enemy of the enemy is my friend type situation. But for now, we got one more tag team match before it, and that is this one, which sees Impact Theory, who have just been announced as one of the 3 teams competing in a TLC match at Final Destination for the MCW Tag Team Championships. Of course, Impact Theory have felt very unfairly done recently due to other teams getting opportunities for that belt, despite Impact Theory feeling like they've got one of the best records since. But, you know, you could make the they could make the argument that like the Fallen, who also feel very unfairly treated, as they are also like Impact Theory, a team that are undefeated in tag team competition. So it will definitely be a strong fight for Survival Instinct to retain those titles at Final Destination, as they face the only 2 undefeated tag teams in the entire company. It does seem to be Impact Theory that have got all the control right now. Brian Sawyer, though, getting out of the grip of Kira Nox. Kira Nox, though, getting the legs up. Hakeem with a suplex into the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Brian Sawyer with a DDT to Kira Nox. Hakeem Rahman, though, throwing Brian Sawyer out of the ring. And that's the kind of space you want in these tornado tag matches, where it's got a 2v1 scenario in the ring. I don't know what Hakeem was just doing there, but Kira Nox breaking the kendo stick on the knee of Stan Mania. Brian Sawyer, though, taking the fight to Hakeem on the outside of the ring. Kira Nox rolling the ropes, going for a sliding clothesline with Stan Mania rolling up just in time. Now Stan Mania getting a bit of the fight here, as it is actually currently both Rock City Stars in control, as Brian Sawyer's just thrown Hakeem into these steel steps. But it doesn't take long for Impact Theory to regain the control here. Swinging neck breaker there from Kira Nox to Stan Mania in the centre of the ring. Dropping the elbow on the face. Hakeem, though, has gone top rope. He goes for the elbow to Brian Sawyer, but he quickly rushes onto the apron to prevent that. But he's met right by Kira Nox in the middle of the ring. A lovely takedown there from Kira Nox, who's going for the pin now on Brian Sawyer. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Knee from Hakeem to Stan Mania. Stan pushing Hakeem off. Going for Kira Nox, though, who seems to just be soaking in the moment. A sit-out powerbomb from Hakeem to Brian Sawyer. Stan throwing Kira into the corner, but Hakeem right there to help his tag partner out. Looking for an electric chair, but it's fought out of by Stan Mania. Kira Nox going out the ring, trying to bring some weaponry into this match here. She gets another kendo stick. Cracks the back of Stan Mania, and then the side of Brian Sawyer. Creating that space that they need. Going for the top rope moonsault on Stan. Roll up, not a roll up, pinfall here. Hakeem tried to intercept it with a kick to the stomach of Stan Mania, but Stan Mania still manages to break it out. He goes to rub Stan Mania face first onto the rope, so he does. Kira Nox going top rope, moonsault to take Brian Sawyer down. And Hakeem with the white noise into the pin on Brian Sawyer. 1, 2, 3. Impact Theory keep their unbeaten streak going as they pick up the win over Rock City Stars. That takes their record to 4-0 ahead of Final Destination. Could they make it 5 in the TLC match at Final Destination? Could we be looking at the team that's going to be holding that is going to be your tag team champions heading into Season 2 of MCW? It's hard to argue against it, but then you do have some big teams in that match. Of course, having another unbeaten team in the Fallen who have an even better record than Impact Theory in tag competition due to being here longer. And then you've got the two-time tag team champions in Survival Instinct. Three of the best teams in the company all going to fight it out to climb a ladder and retrieve the belts. Oh.
Here are your winners. Haku Precious Ramon and Key Stan Nomi.
As Impact Theory celebrate. Yeah, man. We go into Eric Revenant versus Ryan Ross. Bit of a grey area in the company, but a win here could start a bit of a rise. Exactly. That's what it's all about. You got to treat every match as if it is the biggest match of your career, because it could be the one that turns around the fortunes of it. One, two, kick out of two for Ryan Ross. Taking the fight to Ryan Ross at the top of the ropes. Yeah, when it could really push them into a mid-card area for Season 2. Exactly. You know, there's still 2 mid-card belts that need fighting over in the next season. These are 2 men that could definitely see themselves fighting for it if they're able to pick up some momentum. Maybe coming off the back of this match here. Has been all Eric Revenant, though, this match so far. Goes for the pin on Ryan. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over just like that. Eric Revenant picking up the win. Eric Revenant is Ryaning his Ross as we speak. A very quick, dominant win for Eric Revenant. Who is up Ryaning their Ross right now? It is true. Also, MD said that he was going to be late. Is he just not even going to show up at all? Seems like he's not going to show up at all. True, he did miss John versus Brad.
Here is your winner.
Damn.
Rejected.
Yeah, literally, he even said, I'll be slightly late. Slightly late. Stream time 2 hours ago. Slightly fucking late, my ass. Alright, I mean, it is announced. Alright, here it is. D-Way versus Henry King. And this could be the very last time that we see Henry King on regular scheduled programming, as he could have his final match at Final Destination if he does not secure the win over Leon Grimes. It is a great theme. But D-Way, I literally nearly called him D-Head. I nearly called him D-Head. D-Way, of course, as well, he'll be earning his, what I believe will be his first ever title shot. Henry King, of course, been in that situation before. This is his third shot, not only at a title, but it's his third shot at the same title against the same champion. What do you mean? It was never delivered. I thought you said that it was. That's why I asked you, because I did get a notification saying that there was issues with the order, but like you told me that it arrived, so I kind of just ignored it. That's why I double checked with you that it arrived, and you said it did. So I just assumed the website was having issues, and it was just lying that there wasn't an issue, because you said that you got it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to look into it then. I'll try and get it sorted. Don't know why it's being so fucking inconsistent, this shit, but you know, I'll work on it. I'll get it sorted. If the order's not even been cancelled. If the order's been cancelled, I don't know what to do. I'll check if the order's still not cancelled, because I know you only have a certain amount of time to fix it. Okay, it does say it's on hold, so I can still fix it. The cap is done. The problem is apparently the jersey. Something to do with graphics. I need to re-upload the graphics. That's fine. I can do that tonight. And a nice springboard moonsault there from D-Way. Going for the pin on Henry King. Getting this win is going to be important for both of them. They're going for a little bit of that. I literally don't know. I was too busy looking at the marketing thing. Goes for a drop kick. Henry King throwing him into the corner now. Looking for the suplex, but Henry King gets out of the grip. Reversal from D-Way, getting the leg up. Looking for a DDT, but Henry King with a reversal of his own. Henry King getting the elbows up. Running drop kick. D-Way rolling to the corner now. Henry King, though, choking out D-Way in the corner. Drops the knee. Oh shit, I don't actually have a noise notification for a raid, but thank you very much, Blade Franco, for the raid of 10. I believe I've seen you raid here before. Oh yeah, because I have you on Discord. I'm pretty sure you're on the Discord server. I appreciate the raid here. The raid of 10 people. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to MCW. What you're watching is it is currently on the last game. I will let you know. It is you know, it is on 2K25, but this is the second to last stream on 2K25 because this is the last weekly programming before we move into the final show of the year, Final Destination. A lovely slingshot lariat there from D-Way, going for the pin here. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Henry King. Of course, we both know both of these men are fighting for championship titles at Final Destination on the next stream on Wednesday. Flattening Henry King down now. This will be huge for D-Way here. 1, 2. Kick out at 2. Just for you. I was thinking of joining. We're always looking for new people. I mean, you probably won't be able to join this season. There's literally only, after this stream, it is literally just the final show of the season. So obviously we can't, you know, we've already got the final show booked. We already know all the matches in terms of booking stuff. But season 2 will start not long after, and you're moving on to the next game. And you're more than welcome to join there if you want to submit a core and stuff like that. We're opening up core submissions very soon, and stuff. And the camel clutch locked in by Henry King, and D-Way taps out. Once you're starting to get to 6. Yeah, it should be in around, we're aiming for, it could be within around about 2 weeks or so. We have some proper, though there's the Final Destination stream, which is the final stream of the year, the final pay-per-view of the year, as on Wednesday. And then after that, we have one more stream, which will be the award stream for, you know, awarding people for the season and stuff, giving out awards and all that. And then the next stream after that will be the first stream of the new season. We're actually changing things up quite a lot as well, and stuff like that for the next season, making it a lot more easier to manage, and stuff like that. You'll be able, if any of you do tune in for that show on Wednesday, you have one of these two. Both of these men, are going for the 2 mid-card titles. You have D-Way, who's going after the International Championship, and Henry King, who's going for the European Championship from Leon Grimes, who is currently going into his 16th title defense. He's held the belt for around 250 days now, and Henry King has already faced him twice for the European, and did not win either opportunity, but he is going into Final Destination challenging him due to putting his career on the line for one more shot at the European Championship against Leon Grimes in what could be this man right here's final match in MCW. International champion Olivia Black taking on World Cup winner Masaki Ryoki. Of course, the World Cup winner getting the reward of challenging for the world title at Final Destination. Of course, picking Noah Morrison as the champion she wants to take on. But Olivia Black has been in a bit of an angry spot as of late, ever since losing her international champion to her own brother in the Elimination Chamber match at Lone Survivor. Here's your Discord uncles, and yes, a lot of them are gay. Me! That's me you're talking about, Brad. Let's go. But chain wrestling begins here. We all love a bit of midnight chain wrestling. The roll-up there, attempt from Olivia Black. I mean, a Black family member going for a roll-up is not uncommon. Olivia's definitely got some big shoes to fill as well after the earlier match of, you know, another Black family member in John Black earlier tonight at the opener of Clash against Brad Collins in what is already being touted as a potential match of the year contender. Not life guy, he's just a freak. Right, well, there's no need, Brad. There's no need. You know what, Brad, mate? Fuck you. Maybe I won't sort out your merch order. How about that? Maybe I won't sort your merch order. Why? I'll just take your money and run. How about that? Fuck you. Yeah, no Diego Barbosa jersey for you. Fuck you. Chain wrestling still going on here. For you, he's a jolly good fellow. Okay, you already do. Okay, yeah, but no, I don't take your money and run. You give me your money, and I just happen to slowly walk away and you don't chase me. I think that that's okay. You know? And going for a Kamigoye early on. But it's blocked out by Olivia, who returns with a Superman punch. One of the most iconic finishers, or just moves in general in MCW, is the Olivia Black. Going for the sleeper now. Mizaki Ryoki dropping down to break the hold. Trying to send Olivia Black into the corner. Going to keep that space between the two, trapping in the corner, preventing much ability to be resilient from Olivia Black. Oh, I hope MD pins against the final destination. Nah, that's too far, Brad. You took it too far. Going for the pin now. 1. Kick out at 1 by Olivia Black. Raining down the elbows now. Busting open Olivia Black there. Springboard moonsault. I will say it was John Black who got busted open in John versus Brad, and he kind of used the fire of that to end up winning his match there. And these are arguably the two of the 3 biggest female stars in the company, alongside Elena Claire and the Black Mass. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Olivia Black. Of course, Olivia so far is the only, I believe, the only woman to have held a singles championship in MCW. Of course, though, Mizaki winning the World Cup, and that World Cup final was against Elena Claire. We also had some dominant performances in that cup, like Apathy. We had Annika Devereux recently in the International Championship Chamber. We even had the Free Radicals win a tag title, which also features Carly Kelly. And a roll-up attempt is reversed into another by Mizaki Ryoki. 1, 2, 3. Mizaki Ryoki picks up the win via roll-up against Olivia Black. Little bit of an anticlimactic match, considering these two can definitely put on a better match. 100% they can. But it is Mizaki that takes home the win, as she looks fired up and ready for that All-Star Championship match against Noah Morrison at Final Destination. I'll probably say the fat. Yeah, that's what I mean. Mizaki, it makes sense as well. It's the biggest match of her career, her first singles title opportunity. Of course, she did have a title opportunity once earlier on in the season when she was, in the tag team Vixen. But ever since the breakup of that, she went away, discovered herself, came back, totally reinvented herself, and then went all the way through the World Cup to win the whole event. Out of all 24 wrestlers that were in that tournament. As we get ourselves ready for the main event of the final Clash of the year, or well, of the season, sorry. As it is an enemy of your enemy is my friend's type story at the moment. As was MD Silver teaming up with the woman that he'll be facing for the MCW World Championship in a triple threat match featuring Francis Sharp, who is ringside in the corner of his faction, Survival Instinct, the current MCW Tag Team Champions. There's a lot that could go down in this match. Of course, Francis was not originally scheduled for this MCW World Championship program. It was originally just going to be Helga, who was the world champion, and MD Silver, who won the opportunity through winning the #1 contenders Elimination Chamber. But Francis just brutally attacking both MD and Helga for week to week, back to back, is what's caused his inclusion in this match. being able to use aggression to get what he wants, it seems, which is similar to what Survival Instinct did to get their rematch for the titles once they dropped it to Free Radicals. Kind of threatened the GM to get their rematch back. Brody Murray thrown to the outside by MD Silver. There's a lot of fight in this for MD Silver, of course, who, don't forget, Survival Instinct, when they first held these tag titles for the first time, they won it in a 2v1 handicap match against MD Silver, as he was defending on behalf of himself and also Francis Sharp, who were the tag team champions, until Francis Sharp betrayed him, turned on him, formed Survival Instinct, sat in their corner in one of the most unexpected angles in MCW history. Kick out at 1, arguably the biggest story MCW has told in its first season, is surrounded around MD Silver and Francis Sharp. You know, MD Silver, of course, so the first time he's experienced someone that he considers family causing a breakdown. You know, he was in Severance before that was torn apart. You know, he truly opened himself back up to trust again when he teamed with Francis, and Francis betrayed that trust. But MD Silver, he could have wallowed away, he could have, you know, self-pitied for the rest of the season, but he didn't. He came back stronger, sent a message, won the Elimination Chamber. And it says a lot as well about the fight in the heart of MD Silver and Helga, that they're willing to get in the ring with two of the deadliest, arguably the deadliest tag team in MCW currently, just to prove that they are not scared of Francis and what Francis can bring to the table in Survival Instinct. Francis taking the turnbuckle pad off in hopes that Survival Instinct will take advantage. And Brody Murray picks Helga up, tosses her across the ring. MD Silver rolling back up, but met with a clothesline by Brody Murray. And throwing MD Silver over the top rope here. Of course, Survival Instinct will be defending their MCW tag team. And the sit-out power bomb, or the spirit bomb really, from Brody Murray to MD Silver. A pop-up punch there real quick. Take him down. Francis arguing with the referee here, but he could be distracting his own team from getting the pin here, as MD Silver kicks out. Clearly unintentional from Francis there, but it could have potentially cost the match. That spirit bomb may have been enough to get him out. And the power driver, but the armbar locked in on Helga, but Helga gets her way out of it. Of course, it was the armbar from Helga that was able to retain her the championship, when she had her World Championship match against Francis Sharp at Lone Survivor. Brody Murray smartly creating some space, getting Helga out of the ring. And MD Silver went for the Torpedo Moscow, but Brody Murray dodging it. And there was the sharpshooter locked in from Ricky Riley there, but MD Silver was able to break it up, saving Helga. And now Ricky Riley taking MD Silver into the corner. Chop to the chest. Running from one corner to the other with a drop kick. And a one-handed spine buster. 1, 2. And a kick out at 2. From Helga, the champ, still in this. And this would be a great advantage for Francis going into Final Destination, of course. You know, he's not having to wrestle the show beforehand. And Ricky Riley looking for a potential suicide dive here to the outside. And he does go for it, but MD Silver sees it coming, dodges out the way. And the tsunami from Brody Murray from the top rope onto Helga. But MD Silver's right there to help Helga. But the standing moonsault from Brody Murray there. But MD Silver not stopping here with the Michinoku driver into the pin. But Ricky Riley's right there to break it up. Oh no! MD Silver, he does hit the dropkick on Ricky Riley, but he also knocks down the world champion here. Another Michinoku driver. But that could have cost the match, potentially, because he didn't have Helga there to distract Ricky Riley, so he could go in for the pin. But it looks like it may still work out for them. The power slam from MD Silver. The pinfall from Helga here. 1, 2, and Brody Murray kicks out of it. Francis Sharp taunting Helga. And this is what you want when you have a leader of a faction. The roll up from MD Silver onto Ricky Riley. But Brody Murray's right there to break it up. And a power slam from Brody Murray, but he's met with a sledgehammer from Helga. And a sledgehammer to Ricky Riley. It is still Helga and MD Silver on their feet here. Brody Murray thrown into the corner there. He's put onto the top rope. Up high. Dropping his back first onto the top turnbuckle. The submission locked in here, but referee calls for a rope break. But MD Silver still trying to take advantage, going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Ricky Riley. Francis still running distraction. Sling blade though from MD Silver. And thrown into the exposed turnbuckle that was exposed earlier from Francis. But MD Silver with the kendo stick going for the pinfall. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 again from Ricky Riley. This match is still going. Truly either team's match here. Absolute chaos unfolding in the ring, and a high knee from MD Silver. Brody Murray gets the leg up, throwing Helga into the corner. Helga gets the elbow up though. But the constant strikes in the clothesline. The pin from MD Silver. It could be all over here. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 again from Ricky Riley. Brody Murray now getting pinned by Helga. 1, 2, 3, and there it is. It's MD Silver and MCW World Champion Helga that pick up the win, showing Francis that they are not scared of what he can bring to the table and what Survival Instinct can do during that match. And now you have to think, would this maybe change the approach for Francis Sharp? I mean, you have to assume that he would have guaranteed that Survival Instinct would have been in his corner at the Final Destination match, so they can maybe run an interference when needed. However, with them having also a TLC match earlier on in the night that's going to absolutely destroy their bodies and break them down simultaneously, is it even really worth them being there? And you saw there was 1 or 2 times in that match where Francis running distraction actually benefited Helga and MD Silver instead of Survival Instinct. So now the real question is Francis Sharp going to be going into the Final Destination match alone and letting Survival Instinct focus on retaining their tag titles, or are they still going to be in his corner at Final Destination? But it was a well fought out battle between both teams. Truly either team could have took home the win there. Probably would have been a match of the night if it wasn't for John and Brad earlier. I like how the game just, by the way, it's because they're not teams. Just ignore that this is the default. They would not be this happy with each other. Ignore that. You know, not canon. Not canon.